Amazon Web Services, or AWS, is a cloud computing platform provided by Amazon that offers a wide range of services, including computing power, storage options, networking, and databases. It operates on a pay-as-you-go basis, which allows businesses and developers to access scalable and cost-effective resources to run their applications, manage their data, and deliver digital services globally. AWS's infrastructure spans from multiple geographic regions and availability zones, ensuring high availability and reliability. Some of the most popular services include Amazon EC2, virtual servers, Amazon S3 for storage, Amazon RDS for managed databases, and AWS Lambda for serverless computing. So, what exactly is serverless computing? Serverless computing is when a cloud provider dynamically allocates and provisions servers, allowing developers to just focus on running the code without managing the underlying infrastructure. This model enables developers to deploy applications while the cloud provider automatically handles the scaling, the patching, and the maintenance of the servers. Some common serverless computing platforms aside from AWS Lambda include Google Cloud Functions and Azure Functions. Now let's talk about some of the core components of AWS's business model. First, they have Infrastructure as Service, or IaaS. They offer compute services like Amazon EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud that provide scalable virtual servers. Users can rent out virtual machines with varying configurations based on their needs. Next, AWS provides storage. AWS offers scalable storage solutions like Amazon S3 Simple Storage Service for object storage and Amazon EBS for Elastic Block Storage for block storage. The final infrastructure as service component that Amazon offers is networking. AWS provides networking services like Amazon VPC, which is their virtual private cloud that allows users to launch AWS resources in a logically isolated virtual network. The next core component of their business that AWS offers is their platform as a service, or PaaS. First, they offer databases, which are managed database services such as AWS Amazon RDS, or Relational Database Service, or Amazon DynamoDB, a NoSQL database, and Amazon Redshift, a data warehouse. Next, they also offer development and management tools such as services like AWS Elastic Beanstalk for deploying and managing applications, and AWS Lambda for serverless computing. AWS also offers Software as Service, or SaaS, which offers a variety of software solutions delivered over the cloud, such as AWS Workspaces for virtual desktops and AWS CoStars for continuous integration and continuous deliveries, or CI/CD for short. Fourth type of business that AWS offers is machine learning and artificial intelligence. AWS provides a range of AI and ML services, including Amazon SageMaker for building, training, and deploying ML models, and Amazon Rekognition for image and video analysis. Fifth component of Amazon's business model is their analytics services, like Amazon EMR, or Elastic MapReduce for big data processing, and Amazon Kinesis for real-time data streaming, and Amazon QuickSights for business intelligence. Finally, the last component of AWS's business is their security services, like AWS Identity and Access Management, IAM, AWS Key Management Services, KMS, and AWS Shield for DDoS protection. Now let's move on to talking about how the pricing model of AWS works. So AWS pricing model is primarily a pay-as-you-go type of model, which allows customers to pay for only the resources they use without any long-term contracts or upfront commitments. This model is very flexible and enables customers to adjust their usage based on demand. This is one reason why AWS is very popular. So now let's talk about the different types of pricings they have. So first they have on-demand pricing, where customers pay for compute or database capacity by the hour or second, depending on the service. Or next they have reserve instances, which customers can reserve instances for a year or 3-year term in exchange for a significant discount compared to just simply using on-demand pricing. Finally, the cheapest option is using spot instances, where customers can bid for unused EC2 capacity at reduced prices. Now, let's break down the numbers behind AWS's business model. In 2023, AWS reported a total revenue of $90.8 billion. While the specific cost details for AWS alone are not separately listed in Amazon's financial disclosures, the overall expenses for Amazon, which include AWS, consists of various components such as the cost of goods sold, technology, content, and administrative expenses, and other operating expenses. However, in the fourth quarter of 2023, AWS had an operating income of $7.2 billion. Considering the revenue for the same quarter was $24.2 billion, the implied expenses for AWS in quarter 4 can be estimated by subtracting the operating income from the revenue. Therefore, AWS's expenses for Q4 of 2023 would be approximately $17 billion. Extending this idea, the estimated annual expenses for AWS would be approximately $63.8 billion, giving its total annual revenue of $90.8 billion. Now, let's visually break down where all of these expenses are coming from. First, we have the infrastructure cost. That includes the data centers, which are the largest components that the physical facilities house, like the servers, networking equipment, and other infrastructure. These data centers require significant capital investment for construction and maintenance and upgrade. In terms of the servers and hardware for the infrastructure costs, there's costs associated with purchasing, the maintaining, and the upgrading of the servers and other hardware components necessary to deliver these cloud services. The second most major expense for these data centers and AWS services is the energy and utilities. Electricity. Data centers consume substantial amounts of electricity to power the servers and cooling systems, and the cooling systems also have expenses relating to HVAC systems to maintain the optimal operating temperatures for the equipment, and any maintenance fees that come with fixing and updating HVAC systems. The third major expense is employee salaries and benefits. For the technical staff, their salaries, benefits, and training for the engineers, IT professionals, and other technical staff who are necessary to maintain and develop AWS services. There's also support staff like customer support, sales, and administrative personnel that needs to be employed by AWS as well. The fourth major component of the expenses is the software and licensing fees, which are costs associated with the software licenses for operating systems, database management, and other necessary software. There's also security software that's necessary to protect the data and infrastructure. The fifth major expense is from research and development. Obviously, in order to continue to innovate and develop new technologies and services, there's a lot of money that goes into developing emerging technologies like AI, machine learning, and automation. The sixth major expense comes from marketing and sales. So for advertising, the cost of promoting AWS services through various channels, and also the sales commissions and incentives for the sales team. Finally, the last major kind of expense is coming from the administrative side, like the office expenses for office supplies, the rent, and next we also had the legal and professional services that are required to run AWS, like the legal fees, the consulting fees, and other professional service fees that are required to run a business at this scale. What exactly does the future look like for AWS? So AWS is projected to continue their cloud market leadership because of their strong customer base and global infrastructure and a wide variety of service offerings. And as cloud adoption continues to grow, AWS is well positioned to continue to capture a significant share of the new cloud workloads. Also, due to the recent popularity and advancements in AI and machine learning, AWS is more heavily invested in AI and machine learning capabilities than ever before. These include services like Amazon SageMaker and the recently launched Amazon Bedrock for generative AI.